God is saying to you today, though the mountains be shaken and the earth itself tremble, my love for you remains unshaken. I am your covenant, your anchor, and your unchanging foundation. When life's storms rage, when relationships fracture, or when the world feels unstable, I promise my love will never waver. It is deeper than the oceans, stronger than the mountains, and more eternal than the stars. You are bound to me by a covenant that cannot be broken, a promise that transcends time, and a love that outlasts every trial. I want you to understand that nothing can sever my covenant with you. Not broken dreams, shattered trust, or the weight of unmet expectations. When you feel like the foundations of your life are crumbling, remember this: I am the architect of all things, and I have already laid a new foundation beneath your feet. The mountains may crack, the seas may roar, and the sky may darken, but my covenant with you is written in ink that no storm can erase. The mountains symbolize what seems unmovable and permanent to you: the expectations you've built, the people you've trusted, the plans you've cherished. But even if they crumble, I remain. I do not love you because of your achievements or the world's standards. I love you because I am love itself. When you feel like you've lost your way, I gently say, come back to me. I am still here, and my promises are still yours. I am teaching you that chaos cannot overpower my faithfulness. The hills may quake, but my heart for you is steady. The ground may shift, but my covenant is your unshakable truth. When you doubt my presence, I invite you to look at creation. The mountains I raised, the rivers I directed, and the stars I placed in the sky. If I can hold the universe together, I can certainly hold you. My covenant is not just a distant promise, it is a living reality. When you feel abandoned, remember that I chose you before time began. When you doubt my goodness, look for my fingerprints in your story. The moments I carried you through grief, the people I placed in your path, and the quiet assurances I've whispered in your heart. Even when the world shakes, my covenant is your refuge. I want you to trust that my love is a fortress. When others withdraw, when plans collapse, or when the future feels uncertain, I am still here. I do not love you in good times only. I love you in the valleys, the deserts, and the darkest nights. My covenant is not conditional. It is rooted in my nature. I am the God who changes, not paraphrased, and my commitment to you is eternal. I am inviting you to rest in my unchanging heart. When you feel like everything is falling apart, pause and remember, I am the one who calmed the seas, parted the Red Sea, and raised the dead. I am not just a distant creator. I am the one who walks beside you, holding your hand through every tremor. I want you to ask me today, Lord, how do I cling to your covenant when life feels unstable? Where do I need to release fear and trust your promises more deeply? Let this be your prayer, and let it remind you that my covenant is not a relic of the past. It is alive, active, and tailored to your journey. When you feel like the world is collapsing, I want you to see my covenant as a mountain itself, a symbol of my steadfastness. Just as the earth cannot escape my sovereignty, you cannot escape my love. Even when circumstances shake your faith, my covenant shakes with you, but it never breaks. It is the bedrock beneath every trial, the light in every darkness, and the voice that whispers, I am still here. I am with you in every tremor. When fear rises, I steady you. When doubt whispers, I speak truth. When you feel like you're drowning in chaos, I extend my hand and say, I will not let you go. My covenant is not a transactional agreement. It is a living relationship. It grows deeper when you let go of control and lean into my embrace. I want you to embrace the truth that my covenant is your greatest security. The mountains may shift, but my promises do not. I will never abandon you to the storms of life. When you feel like you've failed, or that others have let you down, remember my covenant is not based on your perfection. It is rooted in my mercy. I am teaching you that my love transcends all chaos. When you face betrayal, I am your faithfulness. When you face loss, I am your comfort. When you face uncertainty, I am your certainty. My covenant is not just words, it is action. I am the one who turns brokenness into beauty, despair into hope, and chaos into order. I want you to walk forward with confidence in my promises. When the world says you can't trust anyone, I say trust me. When the future feels unpredictable, I remind you that I am the author of time itself. My covenant is not limited by your circumstances. It is limitless, because I am limitless. I am inviting you to build your life on my covenant, not on shifting sands of human approval or temporary comforts. When relationships crumble or careers falter, my covenant remains. When you feel like an outsider, remember, I am the one who says you are my beloved, and you are chosen. I want you to celebrate that my covenant is a love story. It's not just about rules or obligations, it's about my relentless pursuit of you. When you wander, I call you back. When you fall, I lift you up. When you feel unworthy, I remind you, I love you not because of who you are, but because of who I am. I will never let you go, even when the earth itself trembles. My covenant is not a fragile agreement, it is the bedrock of your existence. When you doubt my faithfulness, look to the past, the moments I answered prayer, the times I provided when you had nothing, and the ways I turned pain into purpose. These are proof that my covenant is alive and active in your life. I am teaching you that covenant love is your greatest strength. When you feel weak, my covenant is your power. When you feel invisible, my covenant is your identity. When you're overwhelmed, my covenant is your peace. It is not just a promise for good times, but a lifeline for the hardest seasons. I want you to walk in the assurance that my covenant is your shelter. When the world shakes, I am the one who rebuilds what is broken. When you feel like you've been forgotten, I remind you, I remember every tear you've cried, every fear you've faced, and every step of faith you've taken. My covenant is your guarantee that I will never stop working for your good. I promise that my covenant with you is eternal. It is not a fleeting emotion, but a divine promise written in the stars. When you feel like your story is falling apart, I am already at work stitching it back together. Your worth is not tied to your performance or the world's approval. It is tied to my covenant, which is unbreakable.